Hey everybody, we're live here on the West Coast. It is so hot today, but we are live. I hope I don't look sunburnt or anything. I was outside working in the yard, and at some point I have to go inside. It is getting too hot. So hopefully wherever you are, the weather is nice, but anyways, we're all here together Sunday night. Welcome. We're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to talk about July. I'm doing for myself a July reset, basically. And I hope some of you can join me with that. I'm going to share my calendar in a few minutes. We do have a giveaway tonight. Let me talk about that for a moment. This box contains secret new flavors of Carnivore. There's 2 new flavors. I did try them at Meat Stock. I'm not allowed to say what they are until July 4th. They're going to be, doing their big announcement and hoopla and all that stuff on July 4th. But that doesn't mean I can't give them away. I'm going to give some away tonight. Someone is going to have one of each new flavor that's in here. I've got both. So, you have a clue. Spicy is the word to use in the comments, to enter the draw. Just put in that word. And what'll happen is at the end of the night, we will draw for this and someone will get 2 of those bars, and I'll announce it later again as we carry on here, because a lot of people arrive after we start. So in the meantime, put in the word spicy. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anita. I've lost almost 150 pounds doing low carb, then keto, and now pretty much carnivore. Not a perfect carnivore, I have to say, but I do my best, and I do whatever I need to do. Like some I don't know. I just do my best. I think that's all we can do, and that's it. So recently I was on a cruise, and I did another trip, and I've been kind of maintaining about a 2-pound up and down weight. I did come back 1.8 pounds heavier from the cruise, which I was kind of impressed with myself because I ate a lot of meat. I ate a lot on that cruise. Yeah, I was sure that there was going to be something going on, but at the same time, there was a lot of steps going on. So there was days we had over 20,000 steps. So, but I do feel like I need a reset. My goal for July is to get my knee back feeling good. I feel. And it was probably all the steps. Like, generally I can do 10,000, 15,000 steps in a day, and my knee feels fairly stable. I do have bone-on-bone arthritis. I mean, carnivore can help with a lot of things, but it cannot reverse, loss of cartilage and all that stuff. I don't think. I mean, I've never heard that it could. I was on a bus beside Dr. Baker a couple years ago when I went to Meat Stock, and we talked about my knee a bit, and he said, it's the pain that you want to reduce, and that is what the pain level is what determines whether you should have your knee replaced or not. And most of the time I don't have any pain. I've been feeling a little pain since being on the cruise. And I think I probably overdid it a little bit. And so I've been talking to the moderators, Bonnie and Melissa. Shout out to them. I just realized I haven't mentioned them yet. They are working hard in the live chat there today, getting greetings out and links for you guys, and keeping track of you all. So July for me is going to be all about resetting, and that is one thing, so the title of today's live is "You Are the Magic Pill." Now, I did steal that from a slide at the cruise. That was Coach Bronson. They talked a lot about mindset, and so I liked it. I wrote it down, and so I wanted to go with that. We are the magic pill. They and we've been talking about this quite a bit on our previous live streams. We always talk about there's no magic elixir, there's no magic pill, that kind of thing. If it's to be, it's up to me. Is kind of how I feel about it. What was interesting at on the cruise is that a lot of the presenters did touch on how important it was to have a strong why, and your mindset, and how there really isn't there isn't anyone coming to rescue us, right? Let's put it that way. It's up to us. One of the presenters that was new to me there was a man from Costa Rica called Donald Vega. He's a doctor, Dr. Vega. And I wrote down something he said as well. It's not what we do, it's why we do it that is important. I mean, think about that for a minute. Like that is what, stirs us up. If we have a good, strong why, the why that makes us cry, that is what can really stir us up. And he had a 10-point strategy, a success strategy that he went over with us. And the number one point out of his 10, his first point was assume responsibility. And so in July, I am going to assume responsibility. I'm going to, do some things that I'm just setting out my plan, and I am going to share that calendar with you. And there's a link for it. You can follow along, or you can, make up your own July, whatever that looks like. But I really need to get the inflammation back down, that kind of thing. I just need to feel good. It's not about weight loss. If I do lose some weight, great. I still have some weight to lose, but it's about healing. And so let me just get my calendar up here. I'm going to add it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Not that one. We want this one. Okay, there it is. Okay, so here is my July calendar. I invite anyone who wants to do this, or to come along with me, or just do your own thing. But so I'm going to bring back my 2 days a week of protein sparing modified fast. That's going to be every Tuesday, every Thursday. I did that in, a couple months ago, and I found it very helpful. It's basically 2 lean days. It does not have to be the exact macros. I didn't always do the exact Maria Emmerich macros. If you have those, if you want to do those, that's great, but because they're effective. But I just basically went for really lean days. So 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. Every Monday is going to be seafood. So that's Omega Monday, all the way down. Even this July 7th qualifies as an Omega Monday, because I'm starting a 3-day eggs and sardine challenge. And eggs have a good amount of omega-3s in them as well, the egg yolks particularly. And so on these 3 days here, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I'm doing eggs and sardines. I could have gone with just sardines, but anytime I've done the egg and the sardine challenge, 1, I found it easier, and 2, I found it easier. Oh no, 2, 1, I found it easier, and 2, it was just as effective as doing 3 days of just sardines for me. And we did this in the Facebook group a few times, as well as on the YouTube, in the YouTube private membership. I did some daily postings in there, which I'll do again as well. And they also had similar results. They had really good results doing eggs and sardines. I do have a video that I did about how to do the eggs and sardines together. I didn't think of it before. I will add that to my video notes later tonight. So, after this is over, so you can take a look at that. But I just think if the eggs and sardines are just as effective as just sardines, let's do eggs and sardines. So then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm bringing back the fasting. I went through a few weeks where I had done fasting that was anywhere between 24 and 48 hours. And so I'm bringing that back on my weekends. And my goal is by the end of July to have done a 72-hour fast. And even if it's this very last weekend of July, that's fine. I'm gonna build up to it. I didn't have any trouble doing 48-hour fasts when I was doing my longer fast, and I just felt so good doing them. I did not feel deprived. I did not feel hungry. I felt clarity. I felt so many good things. So this is my calendar, and I would love to, see what you guys think of it, and what types of things that you might do in July that's different from what you're doing now. And if you want to do some type of a reset, then what does that look like for you? And we also had a couple of questions about sort of mindset questions, I guess, regarding our title. Let me get this calendar down. Just put myself back up here. I believe there was a question in the chat that Melissa has probably already brought up there. Have you ever waited till have you ever felt like you were waiting for a certain set of macros, or you thought maybe something was going to be the answer to all your problems? There it is. Has there ever been a certain thing that you thought was going to be the magic thing and then it wasn't? And how did you feel about that? I tell you, I've been there. I have been there. I thought high-fat carnivore was going to be the thing. I thought protein sparing was going to be the thing. I thought so many things were going to be the thing, getting coached by, somebody, or doing this or doing that. It all comes down to me and the daily decisions that I make. And some of those things that I thought were going to be the thing, they are good things to do. I just have to be consistent, and I have to do them regularly, and I have to keep all my other habits. It's not one thing or another. So that's another thing that I want to address, because I hear from a lot of people. People send me emails on this. They say, this person says that, this person says that, another person says this thing, another person says that thing. Which one is right? They are all right. Or the other way you could look at it is they're not all wrong. It depends. It really depends. So don't get upset when, these people that you're listening to, and we're not talking just about influencers. We're talking about doctors too. They're saying things that contradict each other, but they're coming at it from different contexts, different people that they treat. None of them are wrong. None of them are wrong. And so you just got to bring in many things, and see what works for you. Keep the ones that you can do and work for you. Bring in more. Leave out others that are like I think we all can agree that probably the sugar diet isn't a good thing for us, for the vast majority of us. So we'll leave that out. Maybe some people can do dairy and some people can't. So there needs to be tweaks there. Some people can do high fat and some need to lower it. So maybe there's some tweaks there. It doesn't mean that any of them are wrong. So don't get discouraged and don't think that you have to do it one way or another. And don't think that it's all or nothing. All or something is something. Like, you just do what you can every day. Try to be a little bit better. Maybe you could be 1% better this day from the last day. Just keep working on it. That's what I've done for 10 years. I've just kept working on it. Even when sometimes it felt like nothing was happening, things were happening. Things were happening even when nothing was happening, because, all of a sudden, bang, 5 pounds would drop off for no apparent reason other than, I was doing something for 3 months that didn't seem like it was working. So that has happened too. You just cannot get discouraged, because for some of us who have been obese for many years, have had all the issues we've had, just a lifetime of these bad habits and damage that we can't see all the time. I can see some damage. I can see my knees are damaged. I can see, the wrinkles and the saggy skin from having lost so much weight. It's almost 150 pounds now. That's all there. That's all there. But there are also things that you can't see. And, sometimes our body is still working on it. And that we just have to keep going, because what's the alternative? I mean, just because things aren't perfect, do you just throw in the towel, go back to standard American and see how that did for you? Like, how was that for you? So I always think of that whenever I feel like I'm going to give up. I always think, well, if I do, then what? What's the alternative? Because trust me, I have tried everything, and this is it. I am the magic pill. If it's to be, it is up to me, and I have to take accountability. And so that's what I'm going to do in July. That was my plan. You saw the calendar. Let me know what you think, and let me know what types of things that you are going to do, and let me know what types of things have held you back, and what you want to work on in July. So let's go back to the draw, the giveaway. Somebody is going to get 2 brand new flavor. I cannot show. Oops, I almost showed you. I cannot show you what the flavors are. It is a secret until July the 4th, but there's 2 new flavors in here. Somebody is going to win one of each tonight, and I will mail it to you, so you get to try them. You just have to put the word spicy in the comments, and you will be entered for the draw. Doesn't matter if they're capital letters or small letters, and you just do it once, because it only counts your entry as one at one time. And so there you go. Yes, it's a secret flavor for sure. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to see if there's any comments or questions. Speaking of mindset, look at this comment. So I saw this comment right at the beginning, and I was like, wow, way to turn it around. Lost my job, so I made it. Woohoo! That made me laugh out loud, because I thought, wow, okay, that's taking, what most people would see as a negative, turning it into a positive vessel of mercy. So glad you're here. So glad that you spun that. The glass is definitely half full for you. And I love that. I love that. So thank you. Debbie, my magic pill, or what I thought was going to be my magic pill, was Saxenda. Didn't work, and I always felt nauseous. I don't even know what that is. I'm so sorry that it didn't work for you. But yeah, I mean, whatever that is, whatever some of these other things are that people try, um, sometimes they can be a tool, but it has to be part of the whole bigger toolbox. These things by themselves will not solve the problem. So, these are hard things to learn. These are hard things to learn. So thank you, Debbie, for putting that out there. SOS would like to know if I have ever put melted butter on sardines. Yes, I have. It's actually quite tasty. I've also fried them in bacon grease, which is another tasty treat. Yeah, you can certainly do that. I generally, when I'm doing a sardine challenge, or even just having sardines, sometimes I like to put mustard on it, or if I'm having the water packed sardines, which I often do, putting something else on them. Like some people put some homemade mayo on them, or something else like that. That works too. And anything that you want to put on them to make them a little tastier is good. So the other thing, just while we're talking about sardines, is so that people know, on Omega Mondays or the sardine challenges, also, the small fatty oily fish, some of them work just as well. For example, anchovies. We think of the acronym SMASH. So sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. Those fatty, oily fish are all beneficial. They've got the omega-3s, they've got vitamin D, they've got lots of good things, calcium, if you're including the skin and the bones, especially. But all those things, all those fishies, those small, fatty, oily fish are so beneficial for us, for our inflammation, our joints, our skin, hair, nails, everything. That is almost like a magic pill, but I don't want to call it a magic pill. But it does it works amazingly well if you eat a lot of those, which I do. So, okay, moving on to the next one. Martha, how is your book coming along? Will there be more than one meal, desserts? There'll be everything. Like the book is about using carnivore to age gracefully, and what kind of meals and all that stuff. And it's a complete cookbook. Like there's going to be 150 recipes in there, like approximately. So it is it's going to have. It's going to have like all the meat and soups and casseroles and yeah, I've got some carnivore desserts too, so it'll all be there. It's going to take me a few months to finish this book, but that it's happening. Deborah. Hi, Deborah. The magic thing changes as your body changes. And while our bodies are generally all the same, they are simultaneously different individually. Yes. and that can be frustrating for people, because people tend to want answers. They want to know that, okay, if that person, they're following this, I'm going to follow that too and get the same results. But, you can have 10 people follow an identical protocol, number of calories, same macros, identical, and they're all going to have different results. And that can be very frustrating for people. There's no guarantees. And the scale is so frustrating too. I mean, you can do everything right, and the scale is just going to sit there and do its thing. You can do something wrong and it can go down. And then you go into that trap, like, ooh, if I do that more often, maybe it'll go down. And that's rarely true. So yeah, we can't rely, there's no certainties with this stuff. We just have to keep following our good habits, keep following the 4 pillars of health, what I call the 4 pillars of health, which is nutrition, movement, relieving stress. What was the other one? Oh, somebody, I should have had it here in front of me, but sometimes when I'm talking off the cuff, I forget important details, but you know that they're there. It is stress, movement, nutrition. Oh man. Okay. All right. It'll come to me in about 2 seconds. But you know what I'm talking about, right? It's sleep. Thank you. Sleep. It just came to me. I knew it would. And I had a good sleep last night too. I think I had, I think I had 91 last night or something like that. It was very good. So those things are very important. And yeah, it's a paradox for sure. Thank you, Deborah. Jason, hello, Jason. Always take into consideration where the people you are listening to are in their journey, 100%. If somebody is 1% body fat and jacked, chances are what works for them might not work for you. That is so true. I couldn't have said it better, 100%. And also there are people who have been on this journey for a long time. They're down to the last 10 pounds, 20 pounds. That is very difficult and is very different when you're first starting. You've got 100 pounds to lose or whatever you have to lose in your first couple of weeks. It's like, wow, this is it. And it can be just so different as you get, to the end of your journey. Keto Mama, are you still doing your mini trampoline? I haven't been on it since before I went on the cruise. While I was packing for the cruise, it was my packing station. Now it's still my unpacking station. So yeah, I'm getting back into movement in July as well, because that is so important. And I like it. Oh, and that reminds me, there is going to be, I'm talking to the Kenzone people about a giveaway. They want me to do a trampoline giveaway. So watch for that in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be doing that. But yeah, I enjoy it. I don't like it's in my bedroom. I have quite a large one. I wish mine was just a little bit smaller. But other than that, I like the soft bounce. It's really easy to do. There's a lymphatic routine that I do on there. So yeah, it'll be a thing again for me. I didn't write my movement on my calendar. That was more about what days were going to be what eating plan. But definitely I go for movement every single day, regardless. And I just try to mix it up. Jazzy Mama, I wish that I understood that a plateau didn't mean that I was failing or doing something wrong and then give up. So that is like a really key point. And that was the source of my many failures before this last journey, my last journey. I'm calling this my last journey because this is the journey I'm going to be on forever. But in the past, when I was doing all the crash diets and all the other things, when I hit a plateau, that's how I felt, was that it wasn't working anymore. Like that's what I told myself. Oh, that stopped working, or I blamed myself. Like, it was my fault. Whatever it was. And then before I knew it, all the progress I had made, no matter what it was, it could have been 50 pounds, 100 pounds, out the window and right back up again. And if we could, and I've even had people say to me, well, you've been saying 145 pounds for months or whatever, like, almost implying that maybe I should just get on with it. I'm plateauing and I'm not a failure. I'm maintaining 145 to 150 pound weight loss. I am. And that is a huge win. When in my life have I ever maintained weight loss? Never until now. All those times where I mean, I've lost 80 to 100 pounds several times in my life. And every single time I stopped and I gained it all back. But not this time. Not this time. This time I have maintained that loss. And that loss creeps up a little bit over time. Not as fast as I want, not as fast as some people out there want, but it has crept up. If you watch my videos from last year, you'll see I was saying I've lost 125 pounds, I've lost 130 pounds. It is slowly, slowly, slowly getting up there. And so I know that this is something we face, and I just feel like we have to celebrate the fact that we've lost this amount of weight. We are maintaining it, and at some point the number will be bigger or not. It might just stay the same, in which case it's still a win. It's still a win. I'm 67 with no medications. I can go for walks. I can get out. I can wear the same size clothes for months on end without having to buy new bigger clothes. Like, these are all wins. This is fantastic. I'm very happy with where my life is. It can only get better. So there we go. Thanks for that question, or that comment. It was such a good comment. Okay. Patty Jackson. Anita, you are so inspiring. I've been so discouraged on carnivore. My first 30 days is up tomorrow. Well, you're just a baby carnivore. Thanks for commenting. Ask your questions. There's so many people in the chat here that have been past the 30 days and can tell you what's coming or answer any questions you might have. Just feel free to do that. We're here to support you. The first 30 days are definitely the hardest. That's like, you're feeling yucky. I get it. I mean, you might even feel yucky, for a couple more weeks before you start feeling better. So just know that that's normal. Will you have pre-sale options for your book? That'll be up to the publishing company. And from what I have seen with other people that they have worked with, they do have these pre-sales, pre-orders, that kind of thing. So I think probably. So yeah, a lot of these things are evolving, and I won't really know the answers to until I've handed in, I guess, my manuscript, and then they tell me, next steps and things like that. So, but yeah, once I know these things, I'll definitely pass that on to you. Jen, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start carnivore or keto? I would just cheer you on. And do I need to do things differently being over 45 years old? Well, I started at the age of 55. I mean, I had done some low carb, Atkins type things in past decades. But this journey started in earnest I was about 54, 55 years old. And what I did, I don't think I did anything different than anybody else would do. I think some key things would be get rid of anything in your house that's tempting, especially like in the beginning. Like now there can be, I've got other people that share some of my space, and I've got my kids that live downstairs, and they bring things up here, and there's 2 fridges up here and a fridge downstairs, but sometimes I end up seeing some of their junk anyways. I feel like now I can pretty much handle anything. When I was on the cruise, I sat beside the dessert bar a couple of times, and it just didn't, affect me at all. But in the beginning, it's really good idea to clean everything out of your house that could tempt you, and just do things very clean. Just eat a proper just start with a proper human diet. That would be a good place to start. No sugars, no grains, no flours, no processed foods. That's a big one. No processed, ultra processed foods, or seed oils. Check all your ingredients for seed oils. Make everything from scratch. Buy single ingredient foods. You can do that for 30 days, not worry so much about, macros or things like that. Then after you've got all that processed food, ultra processed food, all that kind of stuff out of your system, then it's easier to make decisions about, do I want to be keto, ketovore, carnivore? Do I want to tweak this? On the other hand, some people just go straight from standard American diet right to carnivore, one extreme to the other. And trust me, standard American diet is extreme. It's as extreme as carnivore. And I don't think carnivore is that extreme, to be honest, because yes, I eat a lot of meat. If people want to complain about that, where were they when I was, stopping at Tim Hortons and getting 6 donuts for myself for breakfast? Where were they when I was doing that? That's extreme. The types of food that we eat on the standard American diet, and I'm Canadian, so I count, we eat the standard American diet as well. It's just we live here in Canada. So we don't get a free pass on that. I just think that the types of foods that got me to be over 300 pounds were extreme. And sometimes it takes some extreme measures to change things up. So people may think that it is, but I think that it's more normal. It reminds me of how my grandparents used to eat. My grandparents and all my relatives, were farmers. They ate what they killed. They ate what they grew. If they had any fruit or vegetables, they grew it on their land with their labor. And the meat that they ate was what they raised and butchered, the eggs, everything. I mean, that is the proper human diet. That is what we're striving for here. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope I didn't confuse you and give you too much information, but that's where I would start. Just get rid of all the processed and ultra processed and things, anything in boxes, label, with barcodes, all that stuff. It's all crap. Real food. Kim, hey Anita, I wonder how you do no sweeteners. I have natural sweeteners in my cabinet, and inevitably I make a dessert or quick treat with them or add some to my yogurt. Heavy sigh. I do allulose now. I have some every day in my yerba mate. I generally don't make yes, I'm making some desserts for my cookbook because I did desserts in the beginning. I used allulose or stevia or those sorts of things. It's something that back then, apparently I needed it, and I don't regret doing that. But now I generally, being home here, I don't do much in the way of maybe a celebration meal. I might make I love carnivore ice cream. But I also I can eat carnivore ice cream with no sweeteners in it. But if I'm doing a celebration meal, I might make a carnivore cheesecake or something with some sweetener. That not going to apologize for that. But generally speaking, my day-to-day eating includes meat. I have my cup of yerba mate tea in the morning, and I have a teaspoon of allulose in it. And I'm trying to use that as a natural appetite suppressant, which it is. It helps me fast. And so, you have to know yourself. If the sweeteners are a problem for you, then, and I have gone through periods of time where I have done zero sweeteners. and that's been okay. I mean, I brought the allulose back in because of Dr. Ben Bickman's videos on, and Nick Norowitz talked about it as well, on the yerba mate and the allulose being a natural appetite suppressant, and it has helped me stick to my 18/6 fasting. And so I use it as a tool, but I don't make I'm not making desserts with it or anything, because that is a slippery slope for me. And you know, there was a time when it helped me, and then it became more of a detriment. And so that's, this is why I say, like, we're all at different parts of our journey. There's been times when I was able to do dairy, times when I wasn't. There's times when I've had to give up cheese, and then I was able to, bring little bits back. It doesn't bother me. Like, it's your journey is going to change, and you have to figure out what works for you. Whether the sweetener is something that has to go, whether having some in your L. reuteri is a problem or not. And if you're getting the results you want, or not. So, these are individual decisions that we all have to make. And they're not bad in and of themselves. It's how they affect us that is the problem, and whether we can live with that, and get the results we want. So those are the things to think about. Hey, Brian, my wife and myself are going to try going on a trip next year. Which trip would you recommend? Are you talking about like a keto or carnivore related trip? Because if you can go on that cruise, I would highly recommend the low carb cruise. Next year they are going out of Galveston to the Caribbean. The other one would be Meatstock. Meatstock is in Tennessee near Gatlinburg. They're having it at the convention center, and there'll be lots and lots of speakers there and people. So there are some tough choices when you, like, I kind of have a budget for probably next year. I'm only going to be able to do one trip myself, and so I have to decide what I'm going to fit in into my budget, and that could be a hard choice. There's also smaller events that are less, and if you check that lowcarbevents.com, some of those smaller events are in there too. I think there's Keto Palooza, and there's other things. If you're talking about, travel in general, I'm probably not the best person to ask, because the only things I seem to leave my house for is to go buy more meat, or to go to a keto meetup or a carnivore meetup, or whatever, or one of those types of trips. So, I'd love to hear more about what you're thinking, and next year, and what you decide on. So good luck. Trishy's for meat. I feel like maintaining is most of the battle. Losing weight is just the beginning. Not gaining it back is the goal. And and I think people don't talk about how not gaining it back, maintaining once you've lost, even if you've only lost half your weight, fight to maintain that. Don't put it back on, because you're just going to be in the same boat again. Just fight to maintain that. And then at some point you'll be ready to start your journey again, to restart and recommit, and get things happening again, tweak things up. Like, I think, like, you've hit the nail on the head here. That is the part that people stumble. They are all gung-ho. They lose the weight, lose part of the weight, and then it falls apart, because they feel like it's not working, or they can't get any further. You got that far, stay there. Just stay there and hold. Do what you have to do to hold. And that's what I did. And it is so much easier to stay where you are, fight. Like in my case, around 100 or 120 pounds when I stayed there for so long, and it was so discouraging. But it was so much easier to fight the battle from that weight than it was from the 320-pound weight. You know what I'm saying? Like that road would have been so hard for me to walk again. And I'm glad that I didn't. I stayed and fought where I was, just circle the wagons, fight from where you are, and then pick up when you can carry on again. I don't know how better to explain it than that. Carnivore Mama, I've been stalled since November of last year. Carnivore since January 2024. I've tried different fasts, exercise. It just stays the same. Do you have any suggestions? 42-year-old mother of 4 and active. Yeah, make sure that you are doing all of the pillars of health. You have to get a 42-year-old mother of 4. Been there. I'm a mother of 4. The sleep is going to be a problem, and the movement. I probably, because you're when you're a mom of 4 or even 2 or 1, 6, it doesn't matter. You're waiting on a lot of people. You're driving kids here and there. It's a lot. It's a lot. But until we get priorities on our sleep and our movement and our stress reduction and our nutrition, it's not just about what we're eating. It's all those things. And they all matter equally, and everything counts. And so you've got to focus on that big picture. And I get that it's hard. I do, because I've been there, and it is hard, but just keep trying. Don't give up. You've installed since November. So whatever you've lost up to this point, just work on maintaining that. And if nothing that you're tweaking food wise is helping, try all those other things. Make sure that you're getting your sleep score is in the 80s and 90s, and you're practicing sleep hygiene. Practice some meditation and some things that are going to help you reduce your stress, and those things will help you. But you may not feel like they are, because that will take time. That will take time to help you. So just don't give up. Whatever you do, just don't give up. I'm just going to take a moment to mention the giveaway again, because we're about 10 minutes away from drawing for this. There's the secret flavors are in here, the brand new flavors. We have the wrong thing up. Brand new flavors are here. And the person who wins the draw tonight is going to get one of each new flavor. It is a secret, and you'll be the first one to try them, because by the time you get this in the mail, they will have made the announcement, and yours will be already on its way. So spicy is the word. We have 98 entries, so put spicy in there. Okay, I'm going to try to get to these last few questions before we have the draw. Joycey, I have loved your content for a long time. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you, Joycey. Thank you for being here. Transform in progress. I'm reverse dieting right now. I reached my goal weight 4 weeks ago. Yay. Does anyone have advice? Take it slow. I haven't been in that position yet. Although I unintentionally did some reverse dieting a couple of years ago. And if you take it slow, you should be okay. And I'm not really sure, where you're trying to go to from where you are. Congratulations for being at your goal. Reverse dieting, for those of you who don't know what it is, I think we should probably do a live stream about that one night, because a lot of people don't know what that is. But it can be a way to raise your rate, like your metabolic rate, without gaining weight. The goal is to eat more, because a lot of people do undereat. But the goal with reverse dieting is to raise your calories, raise your metabolic rate, but you have to do it slowly so that you don't gain. Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to talk about, you know. Um, Claudia, when you stall, did you identify your triggers that may have been a cause? Well, I didn't stall because something triggered me to binge or anything like that. These were long stalls that I was basically maintaining. I think it was work. I had to work on all those things I've been talking about. Those things that I talk about every week are important, and I didn't always recognize how important they were. And I didn't even know I was stressed until I wore a CGM and saw what certain activities in the day did to my blood sugar. And that is invisible to a lot of people. And you know, I've gone through some really stressful times many times over all my years, you know, job related, personal related, like everything, illness, everything. Stress is probably number one, I think. You know, for the non-food things, I think stress is number one because most people don't recognize that they have any. And that was me. And you know, I when I wore the CGM and saw how high my blood sugar went when I was in a stressful situation, I was shocked. And so it's seared in my brain. I try to not get stressed. I try to maintain a stable, positive smile on my face. Dr. Vega on the cruise said, "Fake it till you make it." You know, like just put that smile on your face, and you're, you know, if you're making your body feel like it's happy, and you're, you know, trying to meditate, take those deep breaths, be grateful for things. All that kind of stuff is going to have an effect on your stress levels, lower your blood glucose. Those are the sorts of things that will help you, and have helped me. So yeah, it wasn't a like a food trigger or anything like that. Jason has gifted a Ketogenic Woman membership. He has rolled the dice, and Val L is the recipient. Thank you so much, Jason, for that. Welcome, Val. Check us out in the membership tab. All the, you know, goodies are there, the times and everything. Okay, Ardza, I'm watching you from New Zealand. We have a few people from your part of the country or your part of the world out there. I love your videos a lot, and I'm looking forward to see the book you're making. Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. It wasn't something I expected to be doing. You know, a week after I retired, getting a book deal. That was just kind of weird timing. But now I have time to work on it. So there we go. It was perfect timing. Okay, so I think we better do this draw. So let's do it. Spicy, this is your last chance to put spicy in the comments. We're going to draw. Let's see who is our lucky winner. Okay, Bobby. Now, there's no last name, so I don't know which Bobby this is. Please email me if you are this Bobby. Email me at ketogenicwoman@gmail.com, and let me know all of your contact details so that we can, you know, get this sent to you. You're going to get 2 bars, 2 new flavors that nobody else in the world has right now. Well, except for me and a few other people. But yeah, so that's exciting. Okay, so let's just, I'm just going to pop over here, see if any last minute questions came in. I don't think they did. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. Okay. Oh, I just want to just quickly read this. I'm going from 1,300 calories up to hopefully 2,000 by late November. Increase. Yes. 50 calories a week is perfect. That is a perfect pace and stay there for a couple of weeks until you're certain that that the scale is just staying the same before you increase it another 50. So yeah, I eat approximately 2,000 calories a day myself, and I don't think I could live on 1,300. I really don't. But good for you for doing that, and yeah, we'll talk about that one night. We'll do a live on that because I think it's important. Okay, so I think I'm going to say congratulations to Bobby here. Please get a hold of me for these. I'm not seeing any new questions here. Hit the thumbs up, you guys, before you leave. You can continue to leave comments after we end in a couple minutes here. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys have a great week. I do have a video coming out this week that from people that were on the cruise who told me their why. So I'm very excited about that video. And after that, I don't know, I'm going to be working on the book a lot. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians. That's in 2 days. And happy 4th of July to all my American friends. That's also coming up this week. So we've all got these celebrations coming up, and meat is a perfect thing to cook. And if some people want veggies and some fruit, cool. But yeah, get those barbecues and those smokers out. And have a great week, everybody who is celebrating their country's birthdays. So bye, everybody. See you next time.